Good evening, fellow Plexers. Tonight we're going to try to help Michael with his Synology DS920 Plus and a slow Plex server. Let me read his post from the Plexaholics Facebook support group. Lately my server has been slowing right down. On the player end it seems to lose audio sync on content recorded from OTA via the HD home run tuner. Now let me pause there. My experience with losing sync using Android TV or Google TV devices, even my NVIDIA Shield Pro, is that those suckers need to be rebooted about once a week or at least every couple of weeks. So if you're not someone that reboots your Synology NAS monthly and maybe your networking equipment monthly and your streaming device maybe weekly, try that for sync issues. Then he says other videos struggle to start playing depending on the format, and if he changes it to convert automatically, sometimes he has to push play a couple of times. In the past it worked perfectly, and there's nothing that he's changed that he knows of, so he suspects that some update has slowed it down. Does anyone have any knowledge or experience or suggestions? And he's contemplating getting a Mac Mini to run just the server while leaving the media on his Synology NAS in the hope that speeds things back up. First off, Mike, don't buy a Mac Mini. Too much money. Buy a mini computer or a NUC computer running at least an Intel N150 processor, and you can point that at your media if it comes to that. I think we can get you going once we do some troubleshooting. Unraid is a perfect OS to run if you want redundant 500 gigabyte NVMe or SATA SSD drives to have a RAID 1 volume for your Docker container of Plex to point back at the Synology NAS. I won't show my setup, but I've been running it that way since 2023 without any flaws or hiccups. The best part is the redundancy for the media on SSDs. The media stays on the Synology NAS, as does any trash guide containers running there for automation. They have to be on your Synology NAS with all your media in one shared media folder to achieve those very fast and efficient atomic moves. But I've moved Channels DVR, Tautuli, and Plex server to my Unraid NUC. The other benefit is you can extend a UPS connected to the Synology NAS to the Unraid setup, and the NAS will shut down and the NUC will follow. They'll both start up, and because the NUC starts up so much faster, you can delay the mount to the Synology NAS and then also delay the Docker containers. So unintended startups from a power loss are perfect. So that's my pitch for Unraid on a mini computer. I would not run Windows. I'm a Linux guy. I gave up Windows in 2006. I would not run Ubuntu that I'm running as a desktop OS on the NUC for Plex. Only Unraid because of the extra benefits. There's also an app data backup plugin that shuts all my Docker containers down at 3 a.m. Takes about 31 minutes to back everything up, and it backs up directly to my Synology NAS. So let's get into it. I have my newer 1825 that has all my Plex media on. I retired my first DS1019 Plus NAS, and I'm now using my DS1520 as my backup repository. So let me get to my list, and I'll start asking you some questions. Okay, let's go back to the DS1825 free space. So you can click on the widget, tell me how much free space you have and how much space you've used. And then go into Drive Manager. You can get the space amount here. Click on your volume and let me know some information about your volume. Are you running a RAID 5 volume? Are you running an SHR volume? This is an SHR2, which is like RAID 6 but more flexibility. Please don't tell me you've got multiple drives set up in a JBOD setup. Let me know if you've got data scrubbing scheduled. I'm doing it every 6 months. Now, if a Synology NAS has a power loss and you're not running a UPS to protect against that, and you've had an unclean shutdown, when the NAS restarts, it will start data scrubbing automatically. Don't stop it. Someplace buried in, I think, Control Panel or maybe in Storage Manager, there's an option for data scrubbing to be less resource intensive. With my SHR2 array, because I have 2 drive redundancy with a UPS attached, I have it use less resources, which takes longer. I don't think using the heavy resources, it should affect Plex Server, but that's an option to check into. I just don't know where that setting is right now. All right, so that's the storage component. That's covered. Let's go into the control panel next and go into Info Center. Tell me what version of DSM you're running. This is the latest update that's out, 7.3.2- whatever that number is. In the past, distant past, 2-3 years ago, when Synology upgraded from DSM 6 to DSM 7, existing package installs of Plex Server couldn't would not work after that update. They needed preparation done to them first to then be reconfigured to work under DSM 7. I'm assuming you're already past that issue, but let me know the DSM version you're running and how long it's been since you transitioned from DSM 6 to DSM 7. Tell me the amount of RAM you have. My DS1520 runs the same processor as your 920. And that came with 4 gigabytes burned into the motherboard and a 4 gigabyte RAM stick. I pulled that out and put a 16 gigabyte Samsung stick in for 20 gigabytes total. This shows the UPS device I have on this one, and it shows my UPS device on this one. Well, it's actually a USB device, but that's my UPS right here by CyberPower. Okay, the last thing to check is, that's also in the control panel, down at the bottom, task scheduler. Do you have both emptying of the recycle bin and the smart extended test set up to run regularly? Okay, now let's switch to the client device topics. So I don't need 2 versions of Plex web app going. Let me know what client devices you're using. And just don't say Roku or Fire Stick. Tell me the model of Fire Stick and whether it's the new OS or not. Fire Stick just transitioned to their own operating system. They were using Android rebranded as a Fire OS, but now they're using their own operating system. And my niece's son, I guess my great nephew, 21, 22 years old, is the newest member on my server, and I warned him not to use the new Fire Stick. Old Roku's advised to get the $19.99 Walmart ONN 4K Google TV streamer. And what did he do but get the new Fire Stick, which just transcoded very badly with my easiest stream media. So let me know exactly what devices you're using. And especially if you're using a smart TV app, if you're using a Samsung TV and it's a 2020 model, and then you've got a 2020 model in the bedroom too, well, eventually those stop working. They never work great to start with, but eventually they give up the ghost and you start having problems. The best 3 devices are probably the NVIDIA Shield Pro, the Apple TV, the latest one, and any of the 3 Walmart ONN Google TV devices from the $20 one up. There's the 4K one, there's a Plus and a Pro, and I think the Pro is the one with the smart speaker built in. I don't like anything about a smart speaker, but that doesn't bother other people. So then we need a package install. and let me change this to my older NAS because it has the same processor that your DS920. So you see what I did? I went to the server under the activity window, and these are my multiple test servers. So under this one, I just click dashboard. So now I'm going to start up the Plex HTPC client app off screen. And now that it's up, I'm going to go find that test server under more. I'm going to open up the 4K library, and I'm going to play Big Buck Bunny and pause it. So here's a 4K version of Big Buck Bunny, and I want to see some screenshots of a problematic stream and a stream that's not problematic streaming on each client device you have. So you expand the dashboard screenshot by clicking here to show details, and I'll be able to see your client device here. Don't worry about masking out the local IP address. If it's a remote stream you're going to show me a dashboard screenshot of, mask that out so we don't see it. And then I'll be looking to see if it's direct playing or how it's transcoding. And this is both the audio and the video and the audio parts of this media container file. And also turn on subtitles to see if that causes a transcode. PGS subtitles would always cause a transcode, but that's basically fixed under Linux now for the most part, and you're running a Linux server. Okay, so let me force this into transcode so you can see what I'm talking about with a transcoded stream. Take a second to make the change. Okay, so you see I've got hardware acceleration enabled for the transcode because now this 4K stream has the HW marker there, and it's being forced into a 720p HEVC experimental transcode, which leads me one more thing to check. Go into the settings, then go down to transcoder, and let me know how you're set up here. Most of this is default. Enable HDR tone mapping was enabled by default. I think use hardware acceleration when available was default. And I think that was default. And then I enabled the new experimental HEVC video encoding. And when I saved the changes, then this option popped up. I enabled that. I saved the changes, and I always like to see the iGPU. Normally this is set for auto. Just let me know if you actually see your iGPU there, and if you click on it and save changes, you'll always see it. So give me some of these, and this background video transcode is utilized for an optimizer and download. This is a new setting. This doesn't limit the number of transcodes off your server for your users, whether they're local or remote. So that's just a new number. Okay, let me end this video, see if I have anything else on my list to ask you. Yeah, just the screenshots of good and bad streams on each device will be helpful. And you can see this test server, I don't have remote access set up like I do my regular server. Okay, Mike, we can get this figured out. I've been around the block or 2 or 3, 4 times with Synology hardware. And I guess the only question I have not asked you yet, and I'll just assume you're running the package install of Plex Server and not the Docker container. I don't have a Docker container set up as a test server yet on either of these, but let me know if you're running it that way. And if you are, let me go to my Ugreen NAS. If you are running it in a Docker, also let me know how the container was configured. Oh, I'm in the wrong section. Going to be in stacks. Like, here's my Docker Compose script for this Docker container on the Ugreen NAS, and this is honestly with you, to be honest with you, this is the exact same Docker Compose script I'd use on the Synology NAS too, with just mapping the volumes correctly for my paths. Nothing else changes besides that, and it's very similar to what's shown here. This Ugreen NAS has a RAID 1 volume of the 2 NVMe drives for my Docker containers and in Ugreen package installs, and then it has a volume 2 Rusty storage volume for my Plex media on that. Okay, I think that's enough information, so if you can write all the answers down as you're going through the video and get back to me, and also give me some screenshots with a list of your client devices, we can figure out whether it's a Plex server or a client problem. And I'm just taking the long bet that maybe, like my other friend, you may have got Synology Drive Sync enabled in a way you didn't expect, and it could be making backup copies of all your media, and you could be running out of space. But that would be very apparent, very apparent through this widget. You'd be out of space. Okay, thanks for watching, and happy Plexing.